The story of tragedy and heroism that took place on September 11, 2001 has been told many times since that terrible day. We all know of the police officers, firefighters, and medics who endangered themselves and in some cases sacrificed their own lives to save thousands of others. But there's another tale of immense courage and selflessness that remains largely untold.
It's just everybody just wanted to get out. Everybody was so desperate. They're desperate because they don't know what's going on, and they're desperate because they know they have to get out, and they don't even know why they're getting out. Because they just heard 2 planes hit the towers, and that's it.
All the roads were closed. The bridges were closed, the tunnels were closed, and the only way to get around was by water.
On one of our nation's darkest days, the United States Merchant Marine provided a beacon of light. While most folks were running away from danger, they were among the heroes running toward it. The actions of the men and women in the port of New York and New Jersey that day showed what it means to be a United States merchant mariner.
The spirit of anyone in the Merchant Marine is if someone's in trouble, you immediately go and help out.
The primary purpose of the tugboats is docking ships, transporting oil barges, but at that particular morning was we were to transport people that were running for their lives.
Outside my building, everybody just was running everywhere. I live on Staten Island, so I was running towards the ferry.
In response to the plane attacks on the World Trade Center that day, Staten Island ferries were used for evacuation of Lower Manhattan and through the Battery. When we got passengers on the boat, we got them on the main deck and the saloon deck, and we had everybody quiet down to give them direction and try to calm them down.
My job is the safety of my passengers, my vessel, and my crew, and that's what I was concerned about that day. The boat was filled with smoke. The windows were open, like on that boat, you see on the second deck? So the boat filled with smoke. The passengers were praying, some of them were crying.
We knew that there was a lot of lives that was gone, and people were just coming together. I saw people that I ride the ferry every day with that I finally actually hugged and held.
I believe they did a really good job of making sure that they got everybody off the boat quickly, safely, and to whatever destination they needed to get to.
The Academy is one of the 5 Federal Service Academies operated by the Maritime Administration of the U.S. Department of Transportation.
The Academy was crucial initially in getting first responders down to the site.
Within an hour, we had probably had 150 midshipmen and another 50 members of the faculty and staff who were down at the waterfront saying, put us on boats, get us to the city to help.
It was a bad day. I mean, that's an understatement. But those guys at Kings Point didn't have to come and help. They could have stayed back at school and nobody would have said a word.
And when the chips are down, that Kings Pointers act. And they act with a sense of commitment and courage and character and honor and service for this nation.
I did receive a letter probably about a month after 9/11 from a little girl from the West Coast to thank me for rescuing her father that day. And it touched me a lot. I still have that letter, and I keep it with me and take it to work with me every day.
As the World Trade Center collapsed and Lower Manhattan became a scene of chaos, the men and women of New York and New Jersey's maritime community took action, fearlessly crossing the Hudson River, steaming full speed toward the flames, smoke, and devastation that lay ahead. Our nation's seafarers transported passengers out of harm's way and emergency workers food and medical supplies into it. All told, they helped evacuate more than 300,000 people from Lower Manhattan to safety.
As bad as it was, and as uncertain as things were that day, there were many, many people willing to help and willing to respond and willing to go into a situation that they really didn't know what the outcome was going to be.
I don't think I've ever been prouder to be a member of the maritime community here in New York.